Welcome to Sounds Heavenly. We're here at Bang & Olufsen of Nottingham with one of the world's finest digital loudspeakers, Bang & Olufsen's Beolab 5. Almost 20 years old now, this is still an incredible loudspeaker and one that will grace any home. The sound quality and power of this is virtually unrivaled. So this video is for you if you are thinking that one day you'd like a pair of these in your home, because we're going to explain everything you need to know about setting these up with your own existing equipment, whether that's B&O or different brands. At the end of the video, I'm going to give you a comparative review of Beolab 5s against the newer Beolab 50 and 90 speakers, and also there'll be a link to an in-depth buyer's guide giving you everything you need to know. So if you're interested in these amazing speakers, come and join me and find out more. So I'd like to offer a huge thank you to Bang & Olufsen of Nottingham for letting us film here. They have these amazing Beolab 5 speakers for sale, and also a wide range of other classic Bang & Olufsen speakers, as you'll see in the video here. So if you've got any questions about these speakers, please get in touch with B&O Nottingham. I'll put their contact details in the description of the video. So let's talk a little bit more about these speakers. Now, the really special thing about Beolab 5 compared to other B&O speakers is that you can actually connect multiple inputs to these, and they have their own built-in volume control. So whereas with, for example, Beolab 20, Beolab 8000s or Beolab 1s, other speakers of this era, you would have to have a music system with a volume control connected to be able to adjust the speaker volume. Here you can use the B&O remote directly with the Beolab 5 speakers, and that really opens up the possibilities for what you can connect. So the easiest option is if you have a Bang & Olufsen TV or audio system of the same sort of era up to 2013 with 8-pin power link sockets. In that case, it's a simple case of using a fully wired PowerLink Mark II cable. It has to be the version with all 8 pins connected. So if you're in any doubt, get in touch at soundsheavenly.com. I can help you with the right wire. And what that does, as well as providing audio to the speakers, that provides data to power them on and to set them to the correct volume level. If you have a newer B&O system, so for example BeoConnect Core, BeoVision Harmony, anything post 2013, then a fully wired RJ45 to PowerLink cable is what you need. There's one exception here, and that is the earlier Beosound Core. That has a special workaround that's needed, so if you want to connect Beolab 5s to the original Beosound Core that's now obsolete, please get in touch. I can explain exactly what's needed, and there's a special wiring setup to get that working. Now, as well as the PowerLink sockets on these speakers, there are digital SPDIF, which is the Sony Philips digital interface, if you wanted to know, and also an analog RCA line input. Now, these are excellent if you want to get the best from the speakers and connect them to a non-B&O system. The digital SPDIF input uses a digital 75 ohm coaxial cable. There's some discussion here between B&O and Sony as to whether it should be a 75 ohm cable. Sony, as the designer of the specification, say that it should, so I go with that and provide a 75 ohm cable. And what that does is, if you've got a CD transport, CD player or music system like Beosound 9000 or Beocenter 2 that has a coaxial digital audio output, that feeds directly into the digital input of these speakers to give you the very best sound quality. Now, Beosound 9000 is probably the single most popular item that gets connected to these speakers, and with good reason. They are two iconic products from the same era that work perfectly together. So in that case, you should also use the fully wired PowerLink cable from the Beosound to each speaker, because that gives analog radio, audio auxiliary input, which are analog sources, and control for the speakers, and then add the digital coaxial cable to the speakers, which goes to the first speaker and then daisy chains to the second one, and that gives you the very best sound quality when playing CDs. The sound quality difference is really quite pronounced, so I'd really encourage putting both cables in that setup. You can also use that digital cable for any other brand of music network streamer that has a coaxial output, or indeed high-end CD transport, and these speakers really sing when they're used with a good quality digital input. Now, if you don't have a B&O CD player or television connected, so there's no power link cable, there's one extra thing you should bear in mind, and that is the synchronization cable. Now, what this does is this goes into a little 3.5mm socket that's hidden under a rubber cover at the bottom of the speaker panel, and it allows the two speakers to communicate. It's an RS-232 data format, and it's actually a specially wired mini jack cable, and it ensures that when you adjust the speaker volume using the B&O remote, both speakers will stay at matched volumes. And that's particularly useful if you've got one speaker out of the way behind furniture and it doesn't always pick up remote signals. So I'll put on screen now the serial number at which that synchronization socket was first enabled. So the very earliest speakers had the socket present, but it didn't work. If your speakers are above that serial number, I'd suggest consider adding the synchronization cable if you're using it without a B&O system. And there are also numerous other options which I'll suggest too here. If you want to use these speakers, these are the last speaker that I would suggest is ideal for either karaoke or live audio monitoring use. The newer Beolab 50s and 90s have an audio latency because of the digital processing. That means that they can't be used, for example, to plug in a guitar, electric piano or other instruments, because you'll have a delay between the instrument playing and the speaker giving sound. Beolab 5 does not have that issue. The delay is so small, it's I think around about 3 or 4 milliseconds, so it's so tiny you would not hear it. That means you can actually connect a mixing desk, karaoke, electric guitar, bass guitar, digital saxophone, you name it, anything you want can go into these and you can enjoy the best quality live music you've heard in your life. So the best option, I'd suggest connect via a mixing desk so that you have full control of the sound, and in that case a twin phono to twin phono cable from the booth outputs of the desk into that will split and go into the analog line inputs of the two speakers, and that gives you the option of making your home a real live music venue. I've used these speakers myself for live music and the sound is like nothing you have heard. You are bringing the world's best concert halls into your home. And along the similar line, a mini jack to twin phono cable is brilliant if you want just a nice down-to-earth setup with a music streamer such as Apple Airport Express or Wii Mini, just to give you streaming music from your phone at good quality without any hassle. And I can help with all of those cables at soundsheavenly.com. Suffice to say that these speakers are probably, in my view, the most flexible and usable everyday speakers that you will ever encounter, because of the fact that they give tonally perfect music reproduction, they adapt to your room, they have more power than you will ever need in the largest home, and they can be used for absolutely any input. The one thing we haven't mentioned yet is a television without an analog audio output. That again is nice and easy. TVs now normally have an optical digital output. A very simple optical to coaxial converter will then let you use the digital input of the speakers, or a DAC, which is a digital to analog converter, lets you convert that optical signal to stereo analog audio, and we can go in on the line input of the speakers. So every option is possible. Anything you want to connect, from a music streamer to a television to a classic B&O music system, to your Fender Stratocaster guitar. So any questions at all, please get in touch at soundsheavenly.com. We can get these amazing speakers playing at their best with your home setup. And please get in touch with Bang & Olufsen of Nottingham if you're interested in hearing these speakers for yourself or any of the other speakers that we've shown in the start of the video. As promised, here is a link to a full review and buyer's guide of these amazing speakers to tell you what to look for. And here is a comparative review of Beolab 5 versus the newer Beolab 50 and 90 speakers. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.